am Chris Kaler.
And I'm Actiel from Kyuujin Cosplay, and today we are watching Breaking Bad Season 3, Episode 10.
Fly.
Fly.
So this episode, I forgot to tell you, but it's a bit controversial. Some people say it's the best episode of the show. Some people say it's the worst episode of the show. So watch it, and decide for yourself if it's the best or the worst.
If it's the best or the worst, I'll enjoy it.
I liked it. I wouldn't say it's the best of the show, but there's a lot of hidden messages in that episode. It was directed by one of the guys that did Star Wars movies. One of the directors that directed one of the Star Wars movies. I don't remember. But people
I hope it's not episode 9.
People will say in the comments probably. If it's episode 9, sorry. But one of the guys that did the Star Wars movies directed this episode.
Okay.
So, yeah. Last episode, what happened?
What happened?
It's been a while, so.
And Walt discovered the truth about Gus. He discovered everything that Gus was planning in the back.
He knew Gus was
behind
the one that
the
made
curtains.
the call. Yeah, he made the call to Hank. So and Walt.
He made a call to Hank. He sent the twins to Hank. He kind of destroyed the cartel, by the way. No, he doesn't destroy it, but he
got
dismantled the guys who passed the frontier.
The guy who was in charge of the
borders.
Well, yeah, he killed him. He had him killed. So
yeah.
that was pretty badass.
Yes.
You cannot.
Hank is in a coma.
No, Hank is awake, but he's paralyzed.
Oh yeah.
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 He can't feel his legs anymore.
Okay. Yeah.
So it's not looking good.
But let's the rehab do his magic, and maybe we'll see.
Hopefully.
I'm hoping to.
Hopefully. So yeah, I mean, I say since it's been a long time, I said we just jump into this, and you'll remember where we are during the episode. So let's go and watch Fly.
Man, well, let's go.
I don't understand. What? These numbers, they just don't add up. Ballparking it, I'd say we're a quarter to a half a pound shy. That's weird. Well, what about spillage? Nothing gets spilled.
It's a specific science.
Traffic gets left behind. You know, all the gunk we scrape out of the vats.
Vestiges.
Yeah, vestiges.
He's healing. His face is less
so that's what
disgusting.
Happens. That's what happens.
Totally Are you coming?
Yeah, in a minute.
I'll see you tomorrow.
Right now, Walt doesn't feel very good. He's nitpicking at details. He's obsessing over, numbers. Something doesn't add up.
Yeah.
And considering he's got sleepless nights too, I'm guessing something doesn't add up in his life either.
There's a fly. There's something bugging him.
That's how I see it too. There's an actual fly though, but...
He's picking the little detail.
Yeah. The fly is a little thing that doesn't, bother anyone, but he obsesses over it a little bit. Like, it bothers him.
Mais là, get over it.
Well, the episode is named Fly, so... This is 45 minutes of this.
That's why it's the best episode.
Or the worst. No, not this.
That much? It
bugs.
disturbs you that much?
Yeah. And he didn't get much sleep, so maybe that's worse. That makes it worse.
He doesn't have any patience.
No. And I mean, honestly though, we're talking about a fly in a lab where they make, they use chemicals and shit. Like,
you want to sanitize place?
well, yes. And if the fly ends up in the
it's
product,
important. But the piece is not there anymore.
You know how,
It's a shitty day.
You know how I could, you know, maybe analyze this is you've got a little thing that doesn't, like I said, doesn't butter many people. It butters him, and as he's trying to deal with it, it affects the stuff around him, his environment, his life.
If you keep focusing on the tiny details, you're making everything way worse.
I mean, you gotta get it too.
Of course, there's glass on the floor. You don't just walk, not barefoot, but with socks on. Hello. Ben là, non. Did he die? Does he die?
What was the fly? Oh.
Ow.
It's gonna get personal.
All this for a fly.
Yeah.
There's been a contamination.
Wait. What?
All for a fly?
All for a fly.
What kind of contaminant are we dealing with here?
A fly.
He doesn't even want to admit it.
What do you mean?
I mean, a fly. A housefly.
I like your acting.
Jesse, I know this seems unusual to you, a layman. A fly, I get it, seems insignificant, right? But trust me, in a highly controlled environment such as this, any pollutant, no matter how small,
And he hasn't slept all night. He's been here all night. So you add to his insomnia last night plus this, he's got... he's losing it. But it's funny. It's so...
I like Jesse's face.
It's
Like,
us.
You're kidding me, man.
okay, look, we're running late, so let's just get started, shall we? The sooner we do it, the sooner we're done.
Finally.
Whoa. What are you doing?
It's time to alkaline.
Have you not heard a word I said? No cooking until this fly is dealt with. Have I been speaking to myself?
We're making meth here. All right, not space shuttles.
Making nothing until we catch this fly.
So
Just indulge him.
you're ready to fuck this batch
Because
just
of a
for
fly.
a contaminant,
Okay.
For a fly.
for a fly.
Yeah.
Then
We'll analyze this later, but something's wrong with him.
you search for the fly and I'll cook.
Well, he doesn't want to open the lid, unless
Yeah,
you know,
then
in
we
case
need to-
the fly gets in. He's rationalized this in his head, so there's no convincing him.
Jesse.
Fuck me.
Yeah.
You want me to get it?
My pleasure.
Be my guest.
Absolutely. I'm just gonna need your swatter thing.
His eyes. Oh, it's just an episode about acting.
Look, I definitely got it, man. All right. Oh man, he's got some skills.
Man, it's the first thing I thought about.
I go out on a limb and say, yeah.
It's one fucking fly.
How long do you think you've been away?
Why do you keep asking me that?
Just figure, you could use some coffee is all. I know I could. How about it?
Sleeping pills?
Yeah.
I do. The caffeine will make him wake up. Oh my
Well,
god.
I think that's why you put so
You're
many.
gonna buzz
in
his
the-
brain out. Sleep, motherfucker.
think he needs it.
I think he needs a lot. What?
There was some perfect moment, and it passed me right by.
Perfect moment. What? To drop dead?
I'm saying I've lived too long.
Damn.
You want them to actually miss you. You know?
You're stuck in this.
I know the moment. It was the night Jane died. I was at home and we needed diapers, and so I said I'd go. But afterward, I stopped at a bar. I sit down, and this man, this stranger, he engages me in conversation. He's a complete stranger. But he turns out to be Jane's father, Donald Margolis. I told him that I had a daughter, and he told me he had one too. And he said, never give up on family. And I didn't. I took his advice. That was the moment. That night. I should never have left home.
He's having remorse. Is that his fly? From the beginning?
He's been feeling guilt about this since last season.
Yeah.
Well, that was the perfect moment for him to die. Because after that, he made a mistake and he never came back from it, and everything went to shit.
Butterfly effect. Since the beginning of this.
Yep.
Stop. Huh?
I see this as
Empathy.
Walter has a problem about Jane's death. The only one who could probably clear that problem for him is Jesse, because he's the one he wronged, sort of, by killing Jane. That is stupid.
Sweet. But he's having empathy to Walter, so he's trying to fix his problem.
Hold on to it. Hold it still.
I'm sorry.
Sorry for what? Being a lunatic?
Sorry about Jane. I'm very sorry.
It's not your fault.
But it is.
It's not mine either. It's no one's fault. Not even hers.
Just there. He's not fully here.
There's so little stopping him from falling down that pit.
Gotta go. We need to cook.
What about the contamination?
Fine. He doesn't care at all.
Contaminated.
It's all contaminated. It's all gone to shit.
Yeah.
There's no saving it, but... The dramatic way this fly dies.
Yeah! Oh, Zach! Somebody got got, yo! You see that, Mr.
He's gone. Didn't even get to enjoy this.
He tucked him in!
I know.
What a crazy son of a bitch in this episode. And Jesse's cooking by himself.
Yeah, they still got a quota to, obtain.
He has a job
Reach.
to do.
Yeah, better. Thanks.
And Yana then?
I couldn't chance saying it inside. For all I know, the lab's wired for sound. That's half a pound, I said you're off by. Now, I'm not accusing you, but if, you understand? And if they ever found out,
I didn't take a shit.
Yeah, right.
I'm just saying that I won't be able to protect you.
Who's asking you to?
He doesn't want to be protected. He's ready to take everything he wants. Doesn't have anything to lose.
He doesn't want to have to justify himself, especially considering what he's doing is shitty.
But he's sleeping now. Is he?
The problem won't go away.
Yeah. He has good eyes.
Is it even there? That's the question. So, best or worst episode of the show?
It's a funny episode.
Yes.
It's a complicated episode, but
Would you call it the
it's a
worst?
good Breaking Bad episode.
Yeah, I liked it. When I watched it, I liked it. I didn't think it was the worst episode of the show.
ABQE? ABQU?
ABQ.
ABQ.
Yeah. So, of course, I think if you watch the episode on the first level, of understanding, it's funny. The acting is great. The cinematography is a bit out there, which makes it even funnier. But there are a lot of... It's pretty late, sorry. There are a lot of hidden messages in what happened. And, we saw it at the end.
You need to understand there's a lot of thinking about... It's not just a simple fly. Since the beginning. But in the beginning,
It's little details. Something that happened that bothers him. And it bothers him so much that it affects everything.
I like that Jesse was kind of a spectator to what was going through Walter's mind. And he was watching it just like us. Like, at the beginning, we're like, it's just a fly, man. Are you really pushing through everything for just a fly?
But then he's affected.
After he keeps... he saw Walter explaining why this fly was kind of tricky or contaminated everything. He put the pills into the coffee and it makes Walter opens up so Walter can... Jesse could understand what Walter was going through, so I'm gonna push myself to clean your problems away.
By the way, Walter literally apologized for killing Jane. If Jesse had paid more attention to what he was saying and, let his imagination go, all sorts of places as to why he was apologizing, it could have been bad, but...
It's easy for us to saw the signs that... Because we know that Walter killed Jane, but I think that Jesse or anyone who doesn't saw the episode could understand that.
But we understood. He was apologizing for killing Jane. And, I mean, that's the problem they decided to target in this episode. But, of course, considering there's another fly around, like, there's always going to be a fly because there's a lot of stuff he did wrong. But in this episode, it was about killing Jane because he did a lot of bad stuff. But killing Jane, I feel, was the line he crossed that he could never forgive himself for.
No.
It's stuck, with...
It's a decision he made that he regretted.
Yeah.
Like everything about Hank, just Hank with the twins, he's having remorse, but it's understandable because of his job.
Yeah.
But Jane, it went right through him.
Yeah, he made a decision that led to Jesse's, descent, people's death, the father's depression, and yeah. So it's something that stuck with him. It's guilt, and he's trying to deal with it. But then he's seeing it as, if I had died that day, right before I left the house, it would have been perfect because I would have had enough money for Skylar. Skylar would never have learned the truth.
Yeah.
She would, she would still remember me fondly. That's at the end. And then I think he could have maybe lived with himself better if he had died before killing Jane. And I really like all the metaphors in this episode, all the the hidden messages. You basically got Jesse going on the ladder. On the ladder.
Yep.
Yeah. At the end, and he's hanging on, he could fall and break his neck. There's not much.
He's risking his own life.
He's risking his own life to erase that problem that bothers Walter. There's not much keeping him from falling and breaking his neck. The only thing stopping that from happening is Walt, and he's barely hanging on because he doesn't have that much power. He's falling asleep.
Yeah.
So if you think about it, if he were to tell Jesse the truth, the amount of power he has over Jesse with, the knowledge of what happened to Jane and with everything that he's keeping from him and using him for, he could break or make him. So it depends on what he does with him. He's got his faith in his hands, and he's not stable.
He's really not stable.
No. So I don't know if it was the intent behind the episode, because I feel like they put a lot of thoughts behind it, and the purpose of an episode like this is for us to think about it and analyze it and, understand it the way we want to understand it. But I like to put meaning behind these sort of things and be like, oh shit, okay, they're linked through this, and
But
it's
that's
important.
I think that's what it is. That's why Breaking Bad is so good, because you can put intentions in every episode and a metaphor to everything that's going through the character's story.
Yeah.
So that's why it's very good. Just like The Fly, and I think killing Jane, letting her die.
Yeah, letting
her die. He did it for good intention for him, but the consequences from this action does not equals the everything that this choice made. Well,
yeah, I get what you're trying to say. So basically, the consequences to what he did
doesn't
don't
the intent don't equals the intention he was having.
What he wanted ended up being less than what he ended up with.
He wanted Jane away because he saw that Jesse was not free. He was
would have lost Jesse.
He was grabbed by the balls by Jane.
He would have died with her.
And it was for his selfish choice. He wanted Jesse in his claws, not in Jane's claws.
People argue that there are two reasons as to why he probably let her die. It could be both. She blackmailed him.
Yeah.
And she knew the secret. So there's that. And there's also, and I think to me it's more the other reason, he let her die because of her influence over Jesse and what it meant.
I think
because
it's both.
But I
went
think it's
through his mind at the moment, I'm sure.
It's both, but I think the one he uses to justify it is the second one because of what he said in this episode.
It's more noble.
Yes, and he said he met the father and stuff, and after that he listened to his advice by saying, focus on family. Jesse understands it. Yeah, Jesse understands it as, okay, you focus on you never let your Skylar go. You're fighting to keep her. I understand it as he listened to the advice because right after he went back to Jesse's house to knock some sense into him and save him from the descent he was about to embark on. Yeah. So yes, I do see Jesse as Walt's family. He considers him his son, Eisenberg's son. So.
Aww. Yeah.
That's how I see it. So I think it's pretty cool. And I mean, the actors have such good chemistry. It's not hard to see a bond between them. Whether it's friends, partners, family, I don't care. They fit well together. When it's fighting, when they're fighting, when they're bonding, when they're just talking, it works. Yeah. So I love them. And that's why I kind of like this episode.
They have a good relation.
Yeah.
I know what you're saying. There's a relations there. They are not friends. They have a link. They have a link.
Yeah, it's more than just student and professor. It's not.
It's not colleagues. It's friends and family.
But it's not quite that either. It's everything and nothing at the same time.
It's not sad. It's not sad, but they like each other.
Oh yeah. I think, of course, they have to, have one another in each other's. Especially Walt, actually, because Skylar knows about his drug dealing, but she doesn't understand it. So the only one he's got in his life who he can talk to about his experiences,
who knows everything,
is Jesse. Yeah. So,
confident.
You compare him to Flynn, Walter Jr. Walter Jr. sees Hank as a father figure more than Walt.
Yeah.
He respects Hank more than he respects his father. He idolizes more Hank than Walt.
I think you see. No, I'm
Well,
not.
I mean, that's the impression he gives
Why?
Walt, and I mean that's what we've been seeing since season 1.
But at the moment, I just saw that Walter is having Hank as an idol, but he likes his father a lot, and he wants
Yes.
separation.
He definitely loves his dad, but then you know Hank is the cool uncle who carries a gun, does a great job. You know, he listens to him, he looks up to him. Not that he doesn't like his dad, but I think that Walter sees that, and he detaches himself from Flynn a lot because of that. And when you and then he turns around and he's got Jesse, who learned a lot from him, calls him Mr. White. You know, listens as a student will listen to a teacher. He respects his craft. They have their problems,
Yeah.
but he makes up for a lot of Flynn's issues with his father. So yeah. Anyway, I think it's a good episode.
Yeah.
Personally. So there's not much else to speak of unless you have something you want to discuss.
No, it was a funny episode. I like the acting of Aaron. Like when you see through his eyes that he doesn't understand what is going on in the lab.
And Brendan was great
I enjoyed
too.
it. It was a good. I think we had a lot of intense episodes, so a funny one is kind of nice to watch.
But sometimes we have
Just enjoy
scenes.
it.
Sometimes we have scenes in the middle of intense episodes where people just let loose, like Jesse last
But
episode.
it was since last season's final episode. It was just heavy.
Yes.
heavy.
And this one was
our
heavy
choices-
too. This one was heavy too, but I think it does feel like a standalone a little bit. You know, we were dealing with emotions that, you know, we've been dealing with since season 2 finale, but it also, you know, works as a standalone episode. Let's just kill the fly. So it depends on how we decide to look at the episode, but it was funny. Both
Yeah.
actors were great. So,
Yeah, and what I like about it is like I was thinking about it this day. Like a lot of time when we are watching through, you know, some people were having problems in their life. You have people who, I don't know, who's having problems or their lives are very difficult. Like right now we are having problems in Haiti. I know there's but people in Haiti are having problems. There's it had an earthquake,
Yeah.
so their life are miserable. But maybe some people right now are having fun, maybe, you know, like playing soccer, or sometimes people, because I watched the series on Netflix, M'entends-tu in French, but in English it's Can You Hear Me? Can You Hear Me? It's on Netflix. It's good. It's a Quebec it's a Quebec series.
Oh.
So and you're watching people suffering or having very big problems or having it hard, and you can see they're having comedy and fun. And some people are saying like, how can they be happy when their lives are a shit show?
Okay. Yeah.
But it's their life. It's their
Well,
daily routine.
I have a good example of that actually. I don't know if you've ever seen Soul Surfer.
No.
It's a true story about a professional surfer who lost her arm. It got eaten by a shark, and then we follow her as she, you know, tries to overcome that disability when she still wants to surf, but she can't use both arms to do her thing. And at one point in the movie, she goes, I don't remember where, but she goes one place where there was a tsunami, and she helps, you know, take care of the children and stuff, and she decides to just play with them. She takes her surfing board, and she starts having fun in the water, and then the kids start having fun with her, and for one moment in all this tragedy, they get to laugh and enjoy themselves. And it's important because especially when it happens in real life, if it's tragedy after tragedy and you're depressed all the time, you'll lose yourself.
Yeah.
So
But
it's the
sometimes
same in the show.
they are able to see the good in their lives. So right now we're seeing people who's having it really difficult in these past weeks or months.
Yeah.
And right now we are, maybe for them, I think in their heads like,
Well, Walter
when
did
in
not
the-
have a good time,
No.
but for us, let's have an episode where we, as the spectators,
But
can
I think
breathe.
maybe Jesse, I think it's like a what the fuck moment.
At first, and then I think he got worried.
Yeah.
He genuinely got worried.
But maybe I'm not sure. Maybe they enjoyed it, and
I mean,
that's
he
why
had
I
fun
think.
killing it.
Huh?
He was happy to kill it, and it became his mission.
But at the end of the day, you can just see this situation as I can't believe it happens. Like
Yes.
it was a happy moment for them. Maybe I think it was the tension was put it away.
And not for them, but for us. It was a bit strange for
Bang!
them. No, but Walter was obsessing over the entire episode.
I think he felt a lot less heavier after
But
this
no,
moment.
but the thing is, it's because he felt so much tension these past few weeks that now it's spilling onto crazy shit like this.
Yeah.
So for him, it's not that he had a moment to breathe. It's that he hasn't been breathing in so long that now he's obsessing over flies.
Maybe.
But for us, though, the episode works as a moment for us to be like, haha, we get to laugh. That's great. Now on to back to the drama.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And what
Yeah.
I wanted to say something about the fly.
It's a beautiful fly.
Like you said about the fly. Oh, I forgot about it.
If it comes back to you, we'll talk about it in another episode.
Why?
So yeah, that was
So
Fly.
that was it.
Yes, if you guys enjoyed it, well, please subscribe. Don't forget to do that. And check out our Patreon if you want to see the full reactions to these episodes. And the next one too, it's going to be there early. So check it out. The link is in the description.
Or you can wait next week till the episode comes out on YouTube.
Yes. Bye.
Bye.